Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I'm your host, Trizzy Trace Gerard. Saints OTAs are underway, and Tyler Shough and Spencer Rattler are both ready for the quarterback competition. One of these two guys will edge out the other to become the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. And the good news is for Saints fans, we're going to get the better of the two as the quarterback for the foreseeable future. At least fingers crossed that one of these guys steps up and becomes the Saints quarterback. Now, what we're going to do in this video is going to go through a couple of quotes that Tyler Shough, Spencer Rattler, and Kellen Moore all had to say around the quarterback competition. A lot of good insight and a lot of big updates, so be sure to tune in through the entirety of this video, and don't forget to subscribe and join the Golden Gang. So let's go to Spencer Rattler and what he had to say at the golf tournament that the Saints hosted just a couple of days ago. He said it wasn't surprising that the Saints drafted Tyler Shough 40th overall. He knew with the possibility of Derek Carr retiring that they needed another guy, saying that you can't control that. And look, I'll say this around Spencer Rattler, the whole conversation, it's not even a 4-minute interview. He was very mature. He was very poised, and he seemed very prepared for the conversation and for the competition. And Kellen Moore has said in the past that he looks forward to seeing what Rattler does in year two, because there's usually a big leap in year two. Between that offseason from year one to year two, there's a very, very real change that these young players can experience. And Kellen Moore has also said that it's an open competition at the quarterback position. So it's not just Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shough. Jake Haener and even Hunter Dekkers have an opportunity to potentially be the starting quarterback for this franchise. But at the end of the day, I do think it's going to be between Rattler and Tyler Shough. And I'll say this about Spencer Rattler. It's not like last year it was all sunshine and rainbows, but I do think context matters. Although he had a 70.4 passer rating, I think that it takes, you should take into account the bad line that he had to deal with. I mean, second and third stringers on the offensive line. You're dealing with practice squad guys whenever they were your wide receivers. You were signing guys on Monday, and that following Sunday, they were playing and they were suiting up for you. You were meeting players on game day at Lambeau Field that you were tossing the pill to on Monday Night Football. I mean, it was just ridiculous. So when it comes down to Spencer Rattler, I think that he does deserve a fair opportunity. He does deserve a chance to prove himself. But it's not like it was all amazing last year. I mean, 1,317 yards, more interceptions than touchdowns, a 40.3 QBR. You gotta see improvement if you want to notice him take over as the starting quarterback. But when it comes down to Tyler Shough, I do think he has the edge because he's the guy that Kellen Moore hand-selected. More from Rattler on the quarterback battle. Said, you can't put too much pressure on yourself. It's year two. It's a great opportunity ahead of me. I just got to keep working, keep my head down, and give it what I got. And look, like I said, I'm excited to see Spencer Rattler in year two. I think that when you give him all of the weapons of Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, obviously Taysom Hill's not going to be around, but you have Alvin Kamara, Bub Means on the field. There's clearly a connection between those two. That was the lone touchdown that Bub Means caught was from Spencer Rattler against the Buccaneers at the Dome. And I just really excited to see what he can do. He has really nice skills, and I think Kellen Moore's offense can easily cater to the skill set Rattler has, but I want to see him just open it up, and I want to see him take over. And to be honest, I want to see one of these guys take over. I don't really care who it is. I don't care about the name on the back of the jersey. I care about the name right here and the logo on the side of the helmet, and that's the New Orleans Saints. It could be Uncle Rico throwing the football behind the center. I don't really care. I just want to see one of these guys take over and be the starting quarterback. Now, look, I want you to pick a quarterback for me. Who do you think is going to be a week one starter? Tyler Shough, Spencer Rattler, or Jake Haener? Give me your thoughts down in the comment section and let me know what you think. Now, still to come, we got to talk about what Tyler Shough had to say. Kellen Moore, he has a lot of faith in this quarterback room, and he has a lot of faith in the coaching staff. And we're also going to talk about the fact that New Orleans is not adding a quarterback that's a veteran. That's, something definitely interesting to talk about. And look, at the very end of the show, I'm giving you a scorching hot take, so don't go anywhere. Now, wild stat. Did you know the New Orleans Saints quarterback room as a whole is at a total of 267 passing attempts in the National Football League? They have completed 130 of those, which means they have a completion percentage of 48.6%. That's not good. Definitely need to have better play from the quarterback position. I do think at, some point you have to consider possibly adding a veteran just to keep this whole thing afloat. But I will say this, I am excited about the youth movement. I'm looking forward to seeing how Kellen Moore constructs the offense over the next couple of years, because I do think they are going to give the opportunity for Tyler Shough to succeed. And you are going to see Tyler Shough start games this year for the New Orleans Saints. For what it's worth, doesn't matter who wins the battle week 1, we're going to see Tyler Shough suit up at some point. Now, Tyler Shough has also spoken about this quarterback battle. And I think his answers, similar to Rattler's, very mature, very poised. And I just have to say it's very refreshing, and I appreciate quarterbacks who are taking accountability and quarterbacks who are saying, yeah, I know I got something ahead of me. Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's see what we got. Now, Tyler Shough saying that's all you can ask for is an opportunity at any position. And I'm going to treat it the same way as if whoever is on the roster. He said this right after Derek Carr retired, so just a couple of weeks ago. I've got to continue to grow and get better and do my best to elevate the quarterback room and the team. For me, I was going to come in regardless of Carr being here or not and trying to continue to grow. It's also a great opportunity to grow myself and be on this team with a lot of great coaches and guys on the team that we have already. I'm just excited for what's forward and the rest of our offseason. I also will say I 100% agree with Tyler Shough. That's all you can ask for is an opportunity, and this is what they both have, an opportunity. One of these two quarterbacks needs to separate themselves from the other and be the guy. They need to be the alpha. They need to be the leader. But look, I'll say this. Kellen Moore, he does have some insight on the early stages of the quarterback battle, because we're not going to have a decision this week. We're also not going to have a decision before training camp. Quite frankly, I think this is a decision that could carry over into the preseason, honestly, the first couple of weeks at least. So let's go to Kellen Moore and what he had to say early. Now, early on, there's not much competitiveness. We will do some 7-on-7, but a lot of it is their understanding, taking it from the classroom to the field for the first time. Most of the decision-making factors will come in training camp and preseason football. That's exactly what I said. It echoes exactly what I was saying. Kellen Moore is going to take time to figure this out. Right now, they're just trying to figure out who's got it figured out in their noggin, who's got it figured out with the X's and O's. The IQ and the mental aspect of this game is one side of it. The execution aspect of it is an entirely different. So one of these quarterbacks could be the guy who kind of separates themselves during training camp, but then we get to the preseason when the lights are on, the helmets are strapped up, and people are hitting each other against other rosters, and one of them could definitely separate themselves. So we'll have to see what happens, but I've said this before, and I'll continue to harp on it. Every parent has a favorite child. Every student has a favorite teacher, or every teacher has a favorite student. I harped on that one. Here, I messed it up. Every boss has a favorite employee. You know where I'm going with this. Every coach has a favorite player. And look, I think that Tyler Shough is Kellen Moore's guy. He handpicked him. It's the highest draft pick of a quarterback since Archie Manning in the early 70s. And I think with the quarterback room, a veteran might be necessary. I understand that you have a quality young group and you have faith in it, but I am worried that you might need to add a player, i.e., if Jameis Winston is made available, go and get him. I would love to see that happen. I just think a veteran might be necessary, but I don't think you need to be rushed to go sign one. We got more coming at you in just a second. I want to just tell you to subscribe, though, to the channel. Friendly reminder, whenever there's updates around the New Orleans Saints, we're going to make you a video, whether it's news, whether it's rumors, roster updates, anything going on with the schedule. We'll make you guys a video. We're also going live later on today, around 4 p.m. Central Time, so be sure to subscribe. Join us later. We're going to have a lot of fun content for you. Big updates around the National Football League. We'll be covering it later on today, so be sure to subscribe. Now, look, I want to go to what Kellen Moore has said, because I know that I said a veteran quarterback might be necessary. Kellen Moore doesn't share that same sentiment. Listen to this. We do feel like we've got a good room there, but obviously we're always looking for upgrades to our roster as we go, so it may happen. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to go and sign a guy today. That doesn't mean they're going to go and get Aaron Rodgers. In fact, Saints have said they're out on Aaron Rodgers. Kellen Moore has said that they're not going to go and get a veteran. Kellen Moore has also said that he has a lot of faith in their coaching staff. And I think with Kellen Moore, the coaching staff might just be the presence that the veteran quarterback could provide in the locker room. Hear him defend this idea because I think it's actually kind of interesting. And honestly, I'm really intrigued to see how this whole thing pans out. We feel like we have some good guys here that can certainly mentor each other at the same time going through this process. I feel like our quarterback room has experience there in the sense that myself, Kellen Moore, Doug Nussmeier, the offensive coordinator, and Scott Tolzien, the quarterback's coach, we've all been around this for a while from a player and a coach's perspective. So I think with Kellen Moore, he is going with this approach that the veteran quarterback, because they have such a young coaching staff, Kellen Moore's the youngest head coach in the league for what it's worth. Only a handful of months older than Demario Davis, the older guy on the roster. Or he might be even younger. I don't remember. Either way, long story short, he's very, very young. So you may not actually need a veteran quarterback. Like, he is that kind of role. And for what it's worth, there's not a lot of good names out there. That's why I say don't rush to go and get one. I think that's also why Kellen Moore's like, we're not going to go and get one if we don't need one right now. Let's see these guys battle it out, and then we'll address it later. I don't really love any of these options. Teddy Bridgewater's certainly intriguing. Tyler Huntley might be one that I could be convinced, but look, when it comes down to Kellen Moore, he just feels good about the quarterback room. He feels good about what they got right now. So F it, we ball. Let Kellen Moore cook. Let's see what he's got. I have no reason not to have faith in the guy. He just won a Super Bowl. You want to tell me you don't have faith in this guy? I say let's let him rock. Let's let him cook. Let's see what he can do. I want to see what this coaching staff is capable of. And for what it's worth, this is not going to be a team that goes 12-5 this year. It might take a season or two for it to really get under control and really get this thing moving. But I will say this. I think that this could be a really, really fun potential philosophy that gets adopted into the National Football League where you get a super young coach, you don't have the veteran quarterback, and you just roll with it. I mean, let Kellen Moore cook. I just want to see what he's capable of. I want to see what he does because he is a really smart mind when it comes to the football IQ side of things. I'm really, really pumped. And I also will say this, I'm also not going to be sold on the fact that they just aren't going to go and get one. Let's see who becomes a victim of roster cuts. Like Jameis Winston I mentioned earlier, he could certainly be an odd man out in New York if they decide to keep Tommy DeVito, Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson. I don't know why they would keep DeVito over Winston, but maybe they do. Either way, there's other quarterbacks out there that could potentially be cut as well. So we'll have to see who gets made available whenever it gets down to roster cut downs. You know, we'll see what happens. So I just want to get your take really quick. What's your confidence in the quarterback room? 1 to 100. 1 meaning zero confidence at all. You think that this is going to be the worst thing that's ever happened in football. 100 meaning you think this team could potentially go undefeated and win a Super Bowl. Now, I told you a hot take was coming. Let's get to it. Hot take alert. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Hot take. I think Hunter Dekkers will actually beat out Jake Haener as the quarterback 3, and I think Dekkers will end up making the roster, whereas Jake Haener will be the practice squad quarterback. I think how this will all pan out is Hunter Dekkers makes the roster. We see Jake Haener is released by the Saints. They sign him and bring him back as a practice squad quarterback unless he gets picked up by another roster. He gets picked up potentially by the Seattle Seahawks where they have the familiarity with Clint Kubiak. Maybe they goes to the Denver Broncos. I don't know. Who knows what happens there. So I think my hot take is pretty interesting. If you got one around the quarterback room, give me one in the comment section as well. And as always, be sure to subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports. Reminder, we'll be live later on today. So we'll see you guys here on YouTube. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you later.